Welcome to the Movie Planet. I'm your host, Ethan Downing. Today I'm going to talk about what makes a good romantic movie. I'm a big romance fan. My favorite movie ever is The Princess Bride, a very romantic film. I believe that character development goes hand in hand with any good story in any genre. The three biggest things I look for in a romance is realization, redemption, and connection. I asked my wife what she thinks makes a good romance, and she said it was a romance where the couple ends up together and they live happily ever after, which I disagree with. That rule would eliminate Romeo and Juliet, one of the greatest love stories ever told. A great example is La La Land. In the movie, Sebastian has a deep and abiding love for jazz. His dream is to open his own jazz club. He meets Mia, whose dream it is to become an actress. They fall in love and continue to independently pursue their dreams. Their relationship reaches a breaking point when Sebastian feels like he's being someone he's not to please Mia, and Mia leaves LA because she feels like her dream is unachievable. Sebastian convinces her to keep acting. They end up growing apart and accomplishing their dreams independently, realizing that they can't live their dreams while still being together. In that story, it made a lot of sense for them not to end up together. There was a redemptive story arc of characters accomplishing their goals and realizing they can't be together. In The Princess Bride, Wesley comes back from the dead. The two of them overcome numerous obstacles to be together again. Yes Man is one of my favorite films, and although it is more often labeled as a comedy, it is a very romantic movie. The character transformation that we see in Carl Allen is so great. In the beginning, we see a lonely, depressed, and defeated Carl. He is so sad that his wife left him that he no longer wants to participate in life. He settles into his dead-end job and doesn't want to hang out with his friends or meet new people, until he runs into an old friend that tells him about this program where he's supposed to say yes to everything. Once he starts doing it, he meets Allison and falls in love. He tries new things and has a lot of fun, exciting experiences. Earlier in the movie, desperate Carl calls his ex-wife, checking up on her regularly because he has trouble moving on. Later in the movie, she calls him over to her place because she's sad about a fight that she had with her boyfriend. She tries to use Carl for emotional support because she doesn't want to be alone that night. Carl, with his newfound self-respect, rejects her because he knows it's just going to lead to him getting hurt. Yes Man is less about the relationship between Carl and Allison, but more about Carl moving on with his life and allowing himself to be loved by someone else. Another thing that really drives a relationship for me is when you can feel the connection between the two people. A movie where the audience roots for the couple to be together despite any personal beliefs or moral qualms you might have about the story. An example of this is Natural Born Killers. Despite the fact that the two main characters are both serial killers that go on killing people for fun, none of that matters to the audience. What really matters is that they stay together in the end. This movie does a good job at eliciting emotion. Any good romance must do that to a certain degree. Mickey and Mallory Knox have every reason for an audience to hate them. They are serial killers who kidnap and murder random people, and they leave one person alive to spread the fear. They're evil people in every sense of the word. But there are so many moments where you can get connected to the couple. Mickey rescues Mallory from her father that is sexually abusive towards her. Mickey experiences immense physical abuse from his parents until he one day discovers his father's body after he killed himself. The audience now has built-in empathy for both of these people. This empathy is reinforced when we see the romantic moments that they share. Mickey says that he has a demon inside of him, and that the only thing that can kill the demon is love. He's speaking of the love he has for Mallory and the love she has for him, despite their psychopathic disregard for human life. This deep and enduring love not only gives them a reason to live like the rest of us, but it is also the only thing in their lives that's not tragic or traumatic. Our empathy for their personal trauma compounds against their enduring love for one another and makes us feel their connection 10 times stronger. So now, when all these outside forces drive them apart, you as the audience are just rooting for them to be together no matter what. Regardless of what the final outcome is, the romance did its job of getting you emotionally invested in the relationship. A lot of this connection that is done in romance movies is done through music. An emotionally riveting song or score is played over an intimate and vulnerable moment between two people. The music must match the moment and mood of the scene. In a rom-com, these moments happen just a few times, whereas in a hardcore romance, these moments are the movie. Each scene serves to set up the next romantic moment. The same way every action movie lives to set up the next action sequence, and every Van Damme movie serves to set up the splits. In the movie Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Scott becomes mystified by Ramona Flowers and is in love at first sight. He is committed to do anything to make the relationship work. The audience initially empathizes with Scott as he is coping with his breakup from Envy Adams. He's having trouble dealing with his emotions and how he will relate to people. He hates himself and feels like he is not deserving of love. Even though he has to defeat Ramona's 7 evil exes to be with her, the sword of love cannot defeat them, but only the sword of self-respect. He has to learn to let go of loving someone else despite what it means for him. He realizes he can't just love someone who doesn't feel the same way towards him, like he did with his ex-girlfriend, like he was doing to Knives to fill the hole left by Envy Adams. A great romance will have all three: redemption, connection, and realization. Sometimes, if they just do one really well, it doesn't matter. Another thing that's important to recognize about any romance is that a romance should never be about the romance. The story should encapsulate something larger than just those two people. Like in the movie So I Married an Axe Murderer, we are introduced to Mike Myers' character, Charlie Mackenzie, who keeps rejecting his girlfriends out of fear of commitment, while Harriet battles her fear of letting someone in because of tragic loss from past relationships. The story is less about the two's relationship, but more so about how they each navigate their own individual story arc. How will they come to terms with love and being loved themselves? If you watch a romance and you can't answer the questions, what is the internal motivations, hopes, goals, dreams, and conflicts of each person in the relationship, then you're probably watching a rather shallow, surface level romance. These more shallow romances tend to focus primarily on the redemption element of the story as a whole, with the romance being superficial and cookie cutter as the two of them navigate the story. My idea of a good romance is big on connection, big on realization, and relatively short on redemption because of how much it takes me away from the couple. The worst romances are ones that have no connection, no realization, and no redemption. The romances where we see a slow and steady decline in a relationship, where we never feel them connect because the whole movie is them fighting and breaking up. They don't change and realize they should become better people, and because they broke up, there's no redemption. This is not to say that every time a couple doesn't end up together, the movie sucks. It just means that they have to lean heavier on realization, and maybe the audience can believe that after the movie's over, those characters can find redemption in someone else. At the end of the day, if a movie makes you feel anything, then sometimes that's all we wanted. Let me know in the comments what your favorite romantic movie is, and if you think it deserves a secretly great movie review. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and Thanks for watching.